Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Sometimes life just loves testing your limits. Today in the rLounge, some people only show up when it suits their image, some lie to protect themselves, and some cheat. In the end, it's all about knowing when to hold firm, when to walk away, and how not to let anyone ruin your life's biggest moments. Up first, when parents decide that the perfect time to reappear is just for the photo ops. Am I the a-hole for refusing to invite my parents to my wedding after 14 years of no contact? I was in no contact with my parents since 14 years. The story behind is long and boring, but I will simplify it. My parents divorced when I was 14 after my dad caught my mom cheating, and the divorce was extremely messy and hostile, and the only thing they had in common is that they didn't want to have anything to do with me. I never understood why, and they never told me, so I went to stay with my grandparents. And since then, I tried for a year, but they completely ignored me, so I cut contact with them. Skip forward to a few days ago, and somehow they showed up again for my wedding. I'm getting married in 4 days, and I'm already stressed by myself for the big day because everything must be perfect, and they decided to barge out of the blue. For my wedding, I obviously invited my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, my cousin and her 2 little daughters, and my friends. So everyone, but of course not them. And they decided to step in a week before the wedding, not asking, but pretending to be there just for some photos. This is the most ridiculous part. They don't want to be there for the whole ceremony and the day, but just for the photos, and then they would go away. I obviously ignored their texts and calls, because no reason I would even think of to have them at my special day, but the thing is that my family knows how my parents were completely absent until now, but according to them, this is their way to try to make amends, and a way for them to ask for forgiveness. I obviously don't believe at this BS, because to me it's very simple. They just want to show up for the image of a perfect family and then disappear, but obviously I'm not exactly in the mood for any drama and BS. My girlfriend, my friends, and mostly all of my grandparents are on my side, and they keep telling me that they never showed up for me in 14 years and they're doing it now just for image, but obviously there is that little part of me who spent years crying because I missed them and never had any answer on why from the divorce on they completely ignored me. So, for how crazy it might sound, they actually succeeded in planting the doubt in my mind because I know rationally that I shouldn't cave, but that little part of the abandoned kid wants to have closure with them and have answers. So, am I the a-hole? Should I give them a chance? Or should I ignore them like I did? Am I the a-hole has no consensus spot, but OP was not the a-hole. But let's dig into some of the comments to figure it out. First comment says, not the a-hole, hire security. The next commenter says, definitely hire security and send them a message in writing that they are not welcome at your wedding or any events you will be present at, and you will have security to remove them. Tell them that if they ever hope to speak to you ever again, they will stay away from you and your wedding. If they cause you any grief at all, they will be cut off forever. Call or send a text to every family member attending your wedding. Remind them of how your parents threw away all those years, and tell them that this is absolutely not the time to try to reach out to you. You are not interested. If they don't agree or have any problem with your boundaries, they don't need to attend your wedding. If your parents don't stay away and respect your wishes, it just proves you are right for staying in no contact. Don't give in to any pressure, and don't invite your parents or let them anywhere near you. The next commenter says, not the a-hole. The wedding is not the time for reunions. It's about your new union and your love for your partner. One more comment says, not the a-hole. If they truly want a second chance and gave a crap about you, they wouldn't choose the week of your wedding to step in. And if in some twisted way they did not think this was time, they would ask to attend the ceremony and say no photos are necessary. Update 3 days later. I will start by saying that my parents won't come to my wedding. I arrived at this after talking a lot with my grandparents, and they finally convinced me to open my eyes and to not let that little kid who wants his parents back in. I had a pretty bad argument with my parents, and honestly, I thought to, feel bad, have remorse and all this stuff, but honestly, I don't. They even tried the pathetic move to talk sense into me by my fiance, but she already knew everything, so she simply sent them to hell. I paid a bit more for extra security since I'm getting married in 2 days and I don't want any scene or drama or anything, and that's it. Right now, I just hope that my parents wouldn't try something crazy at my wedding. So I will wait and see. And a couple more comments. First comment. Excellent update. You're protecting your peace and ensuring your wedding day will be drama-free. Congratulations. The next comment says, if they haven't been in your life for 14 years and only show up now to cause drama, you don't owe them anything. Your wedding should be about you and your partner, not about dealing with old family issues. Good move having extra security just in case. The third commenter says, you absolutely did the right thing by not allowing your parents at your wedding. Seriously, they only wanted to be in the photos but not for the actual ceremony? That's disgusting if you ask me. And what's up with those relatives who said it was their way of making amends? Really? Making amends for a divorce where they made it crystal clear that they didn't want you, and for 14 years of no contact is just showing up to a party, snapping a couple of pictures, and then leaving like nothing happened? Come on. My gut says those same relatives who fed you that nonsense were the ones who tipped your parents off about your wedding in the first place. I hope everything goes smoothly, man. Don't stress. This day is your day. It's your wife's day. And don't let those two ruin it for you. 14 years of no contact is not a small thing. And showing up at your wedding just for photos is really not about making amends. It's about image. Weddings are for you and your partner, not for anyone else to fix old mistakes or get closure on their schedule. It makes sense that part of you wants answers or a sense of closure. But you've already made the choice that protects your peace. You don't owe them forgiveness, and you don't owe them a place in your wedding. What would you do? Up next, when there's this X figure in the background, and you've never really sure if they're harmless, dangerous, or just waiting to ruin everything. I met Nicole 3 years ago around my second year of college. I'm from out of state. I received a full scholarship to the university that we're currently at, so I didn't have any friends at the same time. She was nice and took interest in me pretty quickly, and we started dating. She told me from the beginning that she had been best friends with this guy, Adam, since they were little, and they were very close and their families were close, which I was fine with at the time. I'm not really a jealous person, and I'm really laid back. Adam seemed like a nice guy, and I thought, who am I to really tell her who she can and can't be friends with? Anyways, they've been close even through the relationship. They go on trips together with their families. They study together. They have a few classes together, dinner, lunch, etc. And they have even stayed the night at each other's apartments. It was weird at first, but I trusted her as well as him, and honestly, she always told me ahead of time, so I felt like it was fine. Not ideal. It never really affected our relationship. We spent time together, had a great connection, and all that good stuff. Nicole and Adam left on Sunday. They finished finals early or something like that, to head down to their family's beach house, like 4 hours away from campus. They did invite me, but I have some finals left, and then I have summer courses starting nearly immediately after my finals. So I declined so that I could prep for my final 2 courses before I graduate. I met up in the library with one of her friends in my web design class to put some finishing touches on her final project. We get to the topic of relationships, and she was telling me about how when she started dating her current boyfriend, she made him cut off all contact with his ex-girlfriend, even though she wanted to remain close with him. She asked me why I didn't do the same when I was confused. I didn't understand what she meant, and then she explained or showed me proof that Nicole and Adam dated throughout high school. They also went to prom together. I was pretty lost as to what to do or how to feel. I found out yesterday, and all I could think was that Adam could potentially be screwing my girlfriend at this very moment. I trusted her, but I've never seen exes hang out and be as buddy-buddy as them without hooking up before. As dense as it sounds, I almost can't wrap my head around their level of closeness and not doing it. I talked to my older sister, and she told me that I had to calm down and that maybe there was a reason for why they never said anything. She said if I trusted Nicole before knowing she didn't see why I would suddenly accuse her otherwise, even if her best friend is her ex. But I feel like that logic is so flawed because my entire foundation of trust for this relationship stemmed from the fact that Adam was her childhood best friend, not her ex. Honestly, if she would have told me before we started dating, I think I would probably have walked away from their relationship. She's a great and nice girl, but getting with someone who is still so heavily involved with their ex is a roller coaster I don't think I would ever be willing to sign up for. Am I thinking about this the wrong way? Is it crazy that I'm already considering ending the relationship off this whether she cheated or not? I haven't brought it up to her yet. I want to talk to her in person rather than on the phone. I'm going to hide the fact that I know until she comes back to campus on Friday, to spend my birthday weekend with me, but I don't see any logical explanation that will keep me committed. Too long didn't read. I found out my girlfriend of 3 years' current best friend is actually her high school sweetheart. They are childhood friends, however. They are extremely close and regularly spend countless hours together and even the night at each other's apartments from time to time and go on family vacations together. I feel betrayed, like I should end it, but I just want to see if I'm thinking about this the right way or if I'm still being irrational. Let's get some opinions from the community, shall we? First up, the lying is problematic. I made a comment already detailing what I think the lying was done for. But the lying is the crux of the issue. Your trust is shattered, and if you pit yourself up against Adam, I am positive she will choose Adam over you every single time. That is the real crux now. Before you thought that you would be a bigger priority than him. It never had to be that way because of the history as you understood it. Now that you know the truth, it will either be something you get over after hearing her reasons, which I detailed in another comment. I would bet money on it. Or you push and she chooses Adam over you. Lastly, you could try to get over it and just not be able to. I would personally find it very hard to be okay with their friendship after this lie. The OP replies, the lying is what really makes me want to just leave altogether. Not only her lying, but his lying as well as their families. I've met all of them, and none of them have ever said a word about it, though maybe their families don't know. Emotionally invested or not, I'd never be up for having her pick between Adam or myself. I'm not that type of person. And those ultimatums, in my opinions, never result in anything but more issues. Also, they do have a lot of history. Families are connected. I feel like I'm the one in the wrong for even stepping into her life. I've been thinking about this too much, although I should be studying instead. But I feel like it's either she's loyal and faithful, but knew I wouldn't have begun a relationship with her in the first place, or she's hooking up occasionally and something of the sort of a friends with benefits. Either way, I see it as wrong. If she's loyal, which honestly I think might be the case, then it's wrong of her to omit information and manipulate my choice to begin dating her in the first place. If I had any skeletons in my closet, I would be open and clear about it before I engaged in a relationship with someone, letting them make a clear and honest decision about if it was a deal breaker or not. As for getting over it, I don't think I can, or even if I can, I feel like it's almost not worth the effort. I feel like it's going to mess with the dynamic of our relationship, and then I have to deal with her feeling guilty or always having to check in with me or sending Adam to talk to me or any of the other crap that I don't even want to have to deal with. I'm probably saying all this out of convenience, but once I finish this summer semester, I'll be finished. I could have a clean break and move back home with my parents for a few months and be on with my life. The OP replying to a downvoted commenter about giving a second chance, and OP replying that his agency was taken away. Would you want to confess to someone you just started dating that your best friend was once your boyfriend? The issues of timing and not wanting to scare people off alone could make someone keep mum, and then by the time you get confident enough in the relationship to not worry about them bolting. I don't think this is up to you to decide, especially when there were many opportunities during the talking, dating period before we became official. Fooling or tricking someone into thinking otherwise doesn't help the cause, whether it be a blatant lie or omission of details. If I wanted to bolt after finding out her current best friend was her ex of 4 years, then that's the decision I should get to make for myself. The fact that she didn't give me the choice, as well as the fact that I had to find out from a friend and not her, just makes this look even worse. I don't know why you claim to trust this girl and yet are so quick to drop her and pronounce everything a lie without even considering that there might be a reason other than her wanting to F her bestie for keeping it from you. I trust the girl, but this isn't something so small that I can forgive with the snap of a finger. Whether she is cheating or if she's loyal, which honestly I think might be the case, either way, I see it as wrong. It's wrong for her to admit relevant information about herself and manipulate my choice and perception of her just to ensure I begin dating her in the first place. Even if her reasoning is because she thought I would leave or wouldn't give her a chance, while it's understandable in my eyes, it doesn't make it okay. Update, May 6, 2016, 3 days later. Nicole showed up Thursday night after my exams to early surprise me for my birthday weekend. We kind of hung out and talked, and I tried my best to just be normal with her. When I asked her about Adam, she was extremely reluctant and borderline defensive to even talk about him. You never brought it up before. Why do you want to know about it now? When she realizes I'm not dropping it, she pretty much breaks down and tells me everything. Adam was the one who convinced her not to tell me about their past relationship. The last few guys she tried to talk to were scared off by her being best friends with her ex, and he didn't want me to leave in the same way. It was only supposed to be for a little while, she didn't plan on staying that close to Adam while being in a relationship. Adam's dad was in the process of getting a promotion when Nicole and I started dating, which would move him and his family to the Midwest, but the promotion fell through. She said Adam became more direct once he found out he wasn't leaving, constantly insisting that she hang out with him without me, even to the point where she would be canceling plans with me. For most people, I'm sure that would have been a red flag when your girlfriend canceled on you periodically, but I've been taking 6 or 7 course semesters for the past 2 years in attempts to graduate early and get the most out of the scholarship. If I wasn't studying or with Nicole, I always had a million other things I could be catching up on or doing. She blamed me for not putting or setting boundaries or being more strict with her, that eventually she became comfortable with her freedom with him. Adam still has really strong feelings for her, though she said she didn't feel the same way about him. She admitted that Adam over time grew to resent me and became very jealous of our relationship and how effortlessly happy I made her feel. She tells me she never cheated on me despite Adam's advances and flirtation. At this point, she is crying in emotional and extremely desperation. She begs for forgiveness and says that she'll cut all ties from Adam and she won't ever talk to him again or hang out with him anymore. That I'm the only person she wants to spend her life with, and a bunch of other ridiculousness I could hardly even listen to. I was angry and probably didn't say it the way I should have, but I told her that it was the perpetual lying and deceitfulness which had me so angry, and that was the reason I was breaking up with her. That's pretty much how it ended, and me telling her she could leave. Adam sent some hateful texts to me, which I ignored. Yesterday night, I was pretty much in an emotional wreck. I felt ashamed, angry at myself for even crying over someone so stupid. I woke up this morning and I didn't feel nearly as bad as I thought. Spoke to my best friend about it, and he really helped me put it into perspective. I'm going home tonight for my birthday weekend, and then I'll just focus finishing school and finding a job. Too long didn't read. We broke up. It was Adam's idea from the start to hide it all from me. Adam still had strong feelings from her, and when alone, would flirt with her. He always secretly resented me for dating Nicole and her happiness. I don't know if she actually physically cheated on me, but last time they did anything sexual was the day before we started dating. I'm glad it's over, and even more glad I don't live in this state. Thanks for the advice. Now let's see what the community thinks. First up, she blamed you for not setting boundaries for her behavior with him when she was the only one to know of his one-sided feelings, jealousy, and resentment? Wow. Best of luck with graduation and happy birthday. The OP replies, thanks. I think the one moment looking back on this that got me the most riled up was last year. I went back home for the winter break and went out to the movies with my best friend, his girlfriend and his girlfriend's best friend, who was my ex from high school. I told her about it ahead of time, told her exactly what we'd be doing, that the 4 of us were going to see a movie and get some dinner, and she completely blew it out of proportion and made me feel so guilty about going to see a movie with some friends. I don't think I've ever shown that kind of anger in my life. Another commenter says, so there's no time frame on when Adam found out he wasn't leaving. It could have been way more recently. You have no idea how she rebuked his advances or what their conversations were like. She could have rebuked him several times and didn't want to bring it up with her boyfriend because it would just be unnecessary drama in her life, since she no longer sees Adam in that way. Where I can see being upset, breaking up with her over it, just seems extreme, especially when she, 1, comes clean, 2, admits she was wrong, and 3, is willing to fix it. Do people not get second chances anymore? Is that just not a thing that is done? The OP expands on the timeline. When I first found out about her and her best friend being exes from high school, I was ready to end it immediately with her. I was upset that I got lied to and even more angry that I had to hear it from a friend and not even her. I took some time and really thought about it, and before I spoke with her last night, I was full willing to forgive her if her reasoning was to avoid drama or something of the sort. I do believe in second chances, but trust is something that is hard to win back. But Adam found out 6 months into my relationship with her that his dad wasn't getting promoted and moving on. That's basically 2.5 years for Nicole to take responsibility and separate herself from him, especially if he likes her. Whether she felt the same way or not, in my eyes, it's so wrong to keep hanging out and sleeping over with someone who has such strong feelings for you when you have a significant other. About her coming clean. She came clean only after I confronted her about it. Her original plan was just to never tell me. After the year mark, she told me that she realized she was too deep and it was the only way. 2, admitting she was wrong. She blamed me for everything. It's my fault for not setting up boundaries and having too much trust in my significant other and her decision-making skills and accessing what is and isn't appropriate. 3, her willing to fix it. Not until she knows I'm effing 100% done and the relationship does this even become an option. She tried to blame me for the entire thing and made me feel guilty as if her hiding this information and me not playing detective and finding out is my fault. Even if I was willing to forgive her and try again, our relationship dynamic is ruined. I don't want to be the controlling boyfriend, and I can't be with someone who I don't trust. The commenter replies, I mean, if you really feel like you can't trust her again, I understand where you're coming from with the breakup. I don't know the conversations you guys had or how much she blamed you for. I do think it's weird that you had so much trust in her but no longer do because she kept this from you. Like your sister said, if you were okay with it before you knew they had a previous relationship, I see no problem with it now. Your explanation from point 3 confuses me. Her wanting to fix it is not genuine because she didn't offer it until she realized you were done? Maybe think about it from her perspective. In her eyes, it was just a small lie and she never cheated on you, so she didn't think it was a big deal. I would have thought the same as her probably. Why I was so shocked that you broke up with her. The OP replies, I can't trust her again. As simple as that. I do think it's weird that you had so much trust in her but no longer do because she kept this from you. Before this incident and this lie, I had no reason not to trust her. That's how trust works. Once you break someone's trust, they in turn no longer trust you. I saw a quote somewhere about trust takes years to build and only seconds to break or something like that. Your explanation for point 3 confuses me. Her wanting to fix it is not genuine because she didn't offer it until she realized you were done. She was going to take this small lie to the grave, which means in the end, it wasn't a small lie after all. Any lie you're not willing to confess to pretty much means it's pretty big or important. Otherwise, what's the point of hiding it? Honestly, I was willing to look past the lie if she had any reasonable explanation and make amends. But once she told me he still had feelings, purposely kept her from hanging out with me, and was actively trying to sabotage our relationship, I was pretty much done. Even if she didn't cheat, the fact that she continued to hang out with and spend the night with a guy who was actively trying to flirt and get in her pants is more than enough reason to walk away from everything. That's like high school level decision making at its finest. Here's some more vital information from OP. It sounds like she really likes you and she wants to try and make it work. The thing about it is that I really liked her as well. I wanted to make it work more than anything in the world. I really did. It's something that I couldn't really convey in my post, that I always saw the girl as like my escape away from everything. I've been in study mode since I was 18 and I haven't really had much time for the simple things in life like hanging out with a girlfriend or going out to parties or anything like that. I didn't want a relationship at first because I didn't think I would have the time or be able to time manage properly. When I was busy, I always encouraged her to have fun with her other friends. There was a mutual trust there, especially with Adam. It was rough at first, but eventually she convinced me nothing would happen between them and that he was just a childhood friend. But I made it explicitly clear way back when we started dating, she had concerns about her freedom and being able to do as she wanted, and she wanted to know why I trusted her so much, since her other boyfriends didn't, and gave her so much space, and I told her that I had no reason not to trust her. She's my girlfriend after all. All I ask is that you tell me the truth, even if it'll hurt my feelings or get me upset. I realize my school schedule isn't ideal, but I think we can work through this just about anything. But I don't think people owe their significant other their entire dating history, including people you know in common. I strongly disagree with the statement if you guys have mutual friends, that's when disclosing pasts are the most important, especially when you don't disclose your past with someone because you know it'll alter decisions and other aspects of your relationship. That's not cool, on a bunch of levels. Omitted to tell someone about a neighbor who you slept with 3 years ago isn't the same as keeping an ex under your significant other's nose. Maybe if her and Adam saw each other occasionally, or weekly or monthly, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But when you hang out with someone pretty much 4 to 5 times a week, it becomes a problem. You owe it to your significant other to tell them about people you interact with often. Maybe you're different than me and have yourself and your relationship with your significant other all figured out, but that's a really big deal in my book. She's being honest about everything that's happening during your relationship. I could no longer trust what happened during our relationship. I don't know what was truth and what was a lie. However, I spoke with her today actually. She came to visit me at my apartment unannounced and thought we were broken up. She felt that she needed to tell me more about it. She apologized how she acted, letting her disappointment, shamefulness, and guilt get the better of her. She apologized for Adam's text message and some other things she did. But she did in fact cheat on me. It happened 2 different occasions throughout different parts of the relationship. Every occasion mixed with alcohol and them being alone for one night. All initiated by Adam. They also have kissed or as she told me, Adam would kiss her frequently on the lips, taking advantage of her. So based off that alone, I'm 2,000% done. I had my doubts, maybe she really did just lie about them being exes. But when she confirmed that she cheated, that's when I knew I made the right decision to move on. Has it been a roller coaster? Did it affect your relationship in any way before you found out? As for all this, all I can say is that ignorance is bliss. Looking back on it now, I can vividly see periods that would have made me question everything, freedoms and things that I was okay with. I would have freaked over. Letting her sleep at his house was a big deal. Having to split my limited free time up with him was a huge issue for me. Despite the cheating and lying, I do care for her, but I can never be with her again. She either has to date Adam or get the F away from him, but that's not something I can be a part of right now. Like I told someone else, before I leave back to my hometown for good, maybe I'll sit down with her and give her a new perspective on things. But right now, she can learn on her own. It's not really about them being exes. It's about the fact that they hid it from you for so long. That's a huge breach of trust, and honestly, anyone would feel betrayed in your shoes. You tried to trust her and give her the benefit of the doubt, but once you found out she cheated and Adam was actively messing with your relationship, yeah, I don't blame you for being done. It's not overreacting to walk away when your trust's been shattered like that. You deserve to know the truth from the start, and it's okay to put yourself first here. Do you have a similar story? Share it with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.